Hi there, Mary Beth Temple here from MBT Creates, and I am here to talk to you about the alternating rib long tail cast on, or whatever you like to call it. Now, I have this luscious bulky weight yarn here that I purchased at the New Jersey Sheep and Wool show a couple of weeks ago, and I have designed a very nice cowl in it, but I want to make sure I get every inch of use out of this yarn that I can because I've only got the one skein, and I'm going to begin and end my cowl with ribbing. So I want to show you the alternating rib long tail cast on because I think it does two things. One is it gives me a super nice edging if I cast on in knits and purls instead of just knits. Two is it eliminates that little ridge that you get at the bottom of your purl columns when you have just done a regular long tail cast on. And three, as I'm sure many but not all of you know, the long tail cast on counts as a knit row. So by using this long tail cast on, I'm getting a lot of height in my first row, and it's keeping me from having to knit an additional round on my cowl. So I'm setting up like I'm going to do a long tail cast on. I have my working yarn away from me. I have my cut yarn or my tail towards me. Now, if I was casting on this cowl, which is 80 some stitches, I would have pulled a lot more yarn up, but this is just a demo, so I didn't go too crazy. And I'm going to set up like I would normally do for a long tail cast on. I have a slip knot on my hook, and that is going to count as the first knit stitch. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm casting on knit one, purl one. You can do any kind of ribbing that you want. That's just what I happen to need. Now, I've heard this called the slingshot. I've always been taught it as the V for victory, but both strands of yarn coming off of my slip knot are between my index finger and my thumb. My tail yarn is towards me, coming up from the center and over my thumb. And my working yarn is away from me, coming up from the center and over my index finger. Since that slip stitch counts as a knit stitch, I'm going to do a purl stitch first, and this is the one you may not know. So instead of going under the front, like I would for a knit stitch in long tail, I'm going to go under the back. So I'm bringing my right hand needle tip under the outermost strand of yarn. It's away from my index finger. And then I'm going to go under the inside yarn that's over my thumb, pull it through the loop, get my index finger out of the way, and let it go. Do you see how I've already got a purl bump there instead of a knit stitch? That's what makes this so cool. For the knit stitches, I'm going to do them the way I would normally do a long tail cast on. I'm going to bring my yarn under the front strand from front to back, and under the inside strand over my index finger from back to front, pull it through the loop and use my thumb to tighten up the stitch. So I have knit one, which was the slip stitch, purl one, knit one. My next one is a purl. Bring that needle tip under the outer strand from back to front, go under the inside strand of the front from back to front, and pull it through that loop. Get your index finger out of the way and use it to tighten up the stitch. Now I'm going to take a second here and talk to you about the purl one. When I was researching this to see how many other videos there are, what other people were teaching in this technique, there's a very popular knitting channel that I usually swear by, and they have the purl stitch incorrect, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So here's my knit under the front strand from front to back, grab the inner strand over my index finger from back to front, pull it through the loop, use my thumb to tighten it up. So let's look at the purl one more time, because that's the one that people generally don't know. Go under the outer strand from back to front, and if you look at this, your knitting needle is inside that loop. That's exactly what we want. And then you're going to go under the strand in front of it, that's the inner strand over my thumb, and you're going to pull it through the loop, get your index finger out of the loop, and use your index finger to tighten the loop. This is what I want you to notice. No matter what cast on we're using, 99.99% of the time we want to make sure the right leg of each stitch is in the front, is forward facing. And the version that I've seen some other people teach, here's my regular knit one, does not have the right leg forward facing, and it makes me insane. So I try not to tell people that what other people teach is wrong. I try to say, oh, there's multiple ways to do this. There are multiple ways to do this, but some of them are incorrect. So there's my knit stitch, and there's my purl stitch. From the back, get your needle in that loop, go under, and bring it through. And if you're concerned that you have not done it correctly, all you have to do is look close. The right leg of my stitch is forward, and that's what I want. And so once you get the hang of it, you can go pretty quickly. You can go just as quickly as you do for a regular long tail cast on. It's just a matter of getting the hang of it, and for most of us it's new. Now if you look at the cast on, it's super stretchy, and where my purl stitches are going to go, I have purl bumps. And that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and cast on my cowl. I am going to make another video where you can watch me knit the cowl, but for today, I just wanted to make sure that you knew the correct way to do the alternating rib long tail cast on. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.